Hi there, my name's Wyatt Ward, and I'm here to talk about the South Asian elephant, the Indian elephant. This elephant not only has one of the largest representations in religious life and agricultural life, but it also has a large influence on the cultural aspects in South Asia today and historically. So, to start, the historical representations of the Indian elephant date back thousands and thousands of years. As you can see on your screen, the tablet found to the right is actually found in the Indus Valley Civilization between 2500 and 1500 BC, and the relief to the left is actually called Descent of the Ganges, found at Param in the 7th century. And while many might believe reverence for the elephant is primarily a Hindu trait, it actually permeates Buddhism as well. And this kind of dates back to an old story about a white elephant visiting Buddha's mother in a dream while she has been pregnant with Buddha. So it's actually not just a Hindu trait, it permeates other religions as well. In fact, Japanese Buddhists actually revere one of their devas as Kengiten, a white elephant embodied god. And so much speculation revolves around religious representations of elephants that the world elephant theory is actually spawned out of just a confusion over the Sanskrit word naga by European venturers. But talking about elephants within religious life would not be complete without talking about the Hindu god Ganesh or Ganesha. Beheaded by his own angry father, a loving elephant offered his own head in replace of the gods. And that's kind of why the Hindus revere these elephants as really amiable and giving. But contrary to popular belief, it's actually not the physical reverence of the elephant itself. It's more of a emulation of the qualities that the elephant represents. And this graph is actually pretty interesting, I found. It actually shows you the physical representations of the qualities that any real Hindu man or woman would try to emulate. But I shouldn't downplay the physical reverence of the elephant in India today. In Jaipur, specifically Rajasthan, Indians celebrate the Elephant Festival yearly. It used to be a procession of victorious king coming back from war, but now it's just Indians painting up elephants and riding through the streets. So, since elephants were so ingrained in South Asian culture, they were very normal to Indians. But to the British East Indian Trading Company, they were pretty crazy. They wanted to know how they can practically use these animals to benefit their cause. But luckily, the Indians have been using them to do that for thousands of years. So, to start off, they not only started using elephants to construct the building of their colonies, but they also employed them in the military. They used their large bodies to carry supplies between British East Indian Trading Company outposts, and ironically, elephants revered by the Mughals eventually helped orchestrate their own demise. In fact, the British became so comfortable with these animals that they started using them for circus and for sport. Depicted here is what's called a British steeplechase in Burma, where multiple elephants are raced while their riders dress as jockeys and onlooking Brits take bets on which elephant will finish first. It's an extremely cruel practice, but it got a lot of rise out of the audience. An equally cruel but extremely efficient method of bringing elephants into human conflict has been their efficiency on the battlefield. Throughout history, besides their relevance in agricultural, spirituality, and transportation, elephants had a huge effect on the battlefield for many Indian rulers throughout history. They were used in multiple large scale battles, protecting India from hordes of invaders. In the case of Alexander the Great, Hannibal of Carthage, and the Mongol hordes of Timur Khan, elephants were extremely helpful in fending off the attackers, even if they didn't necessarily win all of the battles, like the case of Timur. As invaluable as these animals were to the war effort, up until the 16th century, the creation of gunpowder made them completely obsolete on the battlefield. But until World War I, they actually continued to help Indian and Burmese troops transport supplies to hard to reach places in the woods and in the jungles of South Asia. Although elephants no longer really help the war movements, today elephants are trained and domesticated to serve an extremely wide variety of uses that are equally as helpful to South Asian culture. Trainers are called mahouts, and they form an extremely personal and close bond with their elephant from a very, very early age. For example, in areas around Kerala, villages survive completely on the mahouts' relationship with their elephants. They form large logging communities, bringing teak to market from commercial plantations. This is an extremely challenging and dangerous job, but the bond between the mahout and their elephant really makes it all worthwhile. And you may think your bond with your household pet is an extremely strong and unique one, but in elephant centered Indian cultures, especially Kerala, as a new baby elephant is born, it is connected with a young boy, letting them grow and mature together as a pair. This forms a bond from childhood to adulthood and creates a bond unlike any other in the world. But as revered as these animals are in South Asian culture, they're large wild animals that eat upwards of 300 pounds of food per day. And in an agrarian society like India, human wildlife conflict is absolutely inevitable. At the end of the day, elephants give farmers headaches, and that causes problems for both parties. Additionally, poaching for ivory is an extremely large problem. Although primarily a problem with the African elephant, overhunting that species has actually recently led poachers to expand into India, resulting in Indian elephant males that are actually born without tusks. This is an extremely large problem for the entire population of Indian elephants. But the reverence for this species means that these problems aren't going unfought. Organizations like WildSave, a toll free number for Indian farmers, allows quick response for people who file grievances for crop destroying elephants. That means farmers who have their land destroyed by elephants can actually get monetary compensation to help them create their crops. So, the reality of it is, Indian elephants are in danger. Decreasing habitat and increasing poaching are extremely large problems that face these beautiful, amazing creatures that have inspired so much in South Asian cultures. I hope you can find the time to give to these organizations, and I hope this presentation gave you some insight into these animals. Thank you.